Welcome back to the Bullpen Mafia. Toad and I, in the shadow of Little Havana, we have a very special guest with us. We are recording from the Canes Inside Studio, so we thought who better to walk us through week one, a resounding Canes beatdown in the swamp, than Danny Boy Kane, the famous, infamous Canes fan, the host of Miami Hurricanes Talk with Danny, presented by Lorraine Sports. I think I got that right, didn't I, Danny?
You did, yes.
So for all things Canes news, we had to, especially after that week one, Danny, you were in the swamp. Give us, from your vantage point, how sweet that victory was.
I have to tell you, Javi, it was sweet. Here's the thing: I went there in 2008, and I could tell, and you, Javi, you and Pete both know how obnoxious the Gator fans are. I went in 19 to Orlando, tough loss. I felt next time I come back to Gainesville, I want to come back with a win. And boy, coming out of the swamp that night with the Gator fans leaving in the third quarter, okay, leaving middle of third quarter, you could tell that this was going to be a different Canes team, and I knew it was going to be different, Javi, when we got the TD at the end of the first half after we give up the long TD. Now, in the past, as you know, when we've given up long touchdowns like that, it tends to give the other team momentum. And I thought to myself, and the guy next to me, it is going to fall apart again. We have seen this movie. We know how this movie's ended in the past. But Cam Ward, wow, what a drive to end the first half. And I really felt from that moment when we got that TD at the end of half that we really broke Florida right there. And we got the ball to start the third quarter, and we went up 31-10. 2 touchdowns, very close to halftime. You could tell right then and there. Right then and right there. It was all she wrote. It was all she wrote.
Danny, how sweet was it singing Tom Petty in the fourth quarter with just a bunch of Canes fans?
I could tell you this. I can troll the Gators on many things. I will not troll the Gators on Tom Petty.
Fair enough. Fair. That a man of character, a man of honor, right there.
Yeah,
that's how you respect your rivals.
Yeah, I tell you this. I tell you this about Lagway for Florida. He's going to be a special one. He is going to be a special player there. They got a good one there. If they could build around them, I think if they can get if they could build around them, they're going to be dangerous.
He's starting this weekend because
because Mertz is hurt. We knocked Mertz out in the third quarter.
Danny, do you think Billy Napier's in a different position this week if DJ Lagway starts that game and not Graham Mertz?
Graham Mertz is not going to play because Graham Mertz has a concussion.
I mean, against the Canes. From obviously the game was out of hand.
Well, I noticed one thing about Lagway. He's a different type of runner. Would have been his first start, but I really felt our defense was going to be up to the challenge. Especially this team was not going to lose this game, regardless of who the quarterback, whether it would be Mertz or Lagway.
Never a doubt in your mind. I think in most, I'm not going to say most, some Canes fans, it's been a tough couple of years. The Mario era hasn't necessarily gotten off to the right start. This is as good of a start as you could have asked for.
Absolutely.
1-0, beating your rival week one in decisive fashion. Danny, in your estimation, you watch a lot of football, you watch a lot of Canes. What does this team look like week 6, week 7, week 8? Are we looking at a true contender here, in your opinion?
I'm going to tell you this, Javi. I think we should beat FAMU this week. We should beat Ball next week. The game that concerns me would be at USF September 21st. My birthday, by the way. But anyway, September 21st here in Tampa. I'll know about USF after the game against Bama this week. But I'll tell you, given what they did last year at Ray J. But USF is well coached. They don't, and that's a team that doesn't beat themselves. So that's the team that concerns me.
And that's their Super Bowl. That's when you got to be careful.
Yeah, right? And that's going to be on the road.
That's in your backyard. We lost you again, Danny.
All right, go ahead, man. Try it now.
We lost you again. Dude,
you
got that West Florida internet, man. You guys got a rainstorm over there?
Now it's been funny of the rains. Funny you mentioned the rainstorms. We had a big rainstorm last night. We've gotten over 8 inches of rain the last 2 days here.
Wow, crap.
And it's been flooding here.
Danny, so you're circling that USF game. It's your birthday. in your backyard at Raymond James. You're a Bucks fan, right? So that's going to be a lot of emotions going into that building thinking,
I'll tell you this. That's going to be a dangerous opponent. Now, we don't know the time of the game yet.
It's got to be a night game.
I think the way I understand the rule from the American Conference is like 10 days before the game is when they announce the game time. Think Temple last year, if you remember. They didn't announce that game until, I believe, the 13th of September.
Wow.
That was going to be a 3:30 game in Philadelphia last year.
Okay.
So I think look for a game time this coming week on USF.
Okay.
But you got to think the Canes in a month and a half's time, they might be top 6, top 4 already in that top 4 seed playoff contention.
Yeah.
Because of their schedule.
Yeah.
And from my perspective, from an FSU fan, so Danny, don't hold it against me. I'm having a hard enough start to the season as it is.
Yeah. My God.
But just taking a glance at Miami's schedule, you got to think they're going to be in title conversation very quickly. Outside of that USF game, it's a fairly cupcake start to the season. You got the tough one out of the way.
On a short week. You got Vatech on a short week.
And no part of you is concerned about going out west and facing Cal with the time difference in the middle of the season.
The good thing about that game, Pete, is the fact it's on the West Coast, like you said, and we get the extra day to prepare.
You got it all mapped out.
We have that extra.
Wow. You're not phased.
Think about that. We have the extra day, and not only that, there'll be a bye week right after that, after we come back from the West Coast. But then we have to go to Louisville. And I've always said, if there is an L somewhere in that schedule this year, I'm going to say it could be at Louisville.
And that's a sneaky tough road game too. That place is big and it gets loud.
Papa John Stadium.
And I'm going there. In fact, I made it official yesterday. I am going to Louisville.
Wow. That's officially official. Danny, yes. I think that's the Golden Cane trip, and I see you wearing the Canes Connection hat. I know D Money would love the shout out. So tell us about Canes Connection. Tell us about the impact that has.
Canes Connection is a very good organization. As I'm told, they do a lot with NIL. If you've seen them in the headlines this week, I think about $15 million, if I'm not mistaken, regarding that with NIL. I mean, they do a very good job with that. I mean, give them support, give them your support. They've earned that. They've earned that right.
There you go. And Danny, we talk about the impact NIL has had directly on our university, directly on our football team. You look at Cam Ward. Are you ready to put Cam Ward in some conversations for Heisman, for some of the big awards, some of the?
Not yet. I want to see. Not yet. I want to
do it against the real team first.
Right? Yeah, I want to see. What I really want to see, Pete and Javi, is I want to see him against Louisville and against FSU. To me, if those two games are going to tell me if he's a real Heisman contender. If they win both those games and he like week 1, let me tell you something. And I can say, okay, send Cam Ward to New York if he does well against both. If he wins both those games, and we come out of FSU undefeated after October 26th.
Well, look, I think from where I see it, we haven't had a quarterback as dynamic as that. I know I talked about it with Toad. Mm-hmm. Both of our teams, Toad being an FSU fan, both of our teams underwent, quarterback changes in the offseason. DJU at Florida State, Cam Ward at Miami. Obviously, DJU has had some struggles. Cam Ward looks like how he did. Just goes to show you the importance of the quarterback, right? I mean, if you don't have a quarterback, which we haven't had a level of caliber player like a Cam Ward in a very long time at the University of Miami, you don't really have a puncher's chance. And I think Cam Ward can erase a lot of mistakes on the field, but then he does some dazzling stuff, and you start to realize, like, holy cow, like this team's ceiling is exponential because you have a guy like Cam Ward.
And remember, I was telling somebody next to me who went with me because a friend of a guy that was supposed to go with me couldn't make because he had a family emergency he had to deal with. So
yeah, I saw you tweet right before the game. You had a ticket. The Danny boy had a ticket sitting next to him.
Because a friend of mine, mom was rushed. His mom was rushed to the hospital the night morning before. So fortunately, he couldn't make the trip. But I'm happy to report his mom is doing better. His mom is doing better, thank God. And I'm glad, and I wish, and she's recovering. I just wanted to report that. But yeah, I told a friend of mine, I told the guy next to me, I said, listen, he would not do this at Washington State because Washington State doesn't nearly have the offensive line that we have here.
Right.
And he's able to, and he has more weapons here now than he did at Washington State.
Yeah.
We have the backs, Martinez and Fletcher, and we've got the receivers in Horton, and we're using the tight ends. Did you notice we used the tight ends in this game? How often have we used the tight ends here?
Yeah, you sound like Bill Walsh. Music to my ears, right?
We have not used the tight ends here in quite a while.
Yeah.
To see us use McCormick, to see us use Elijah in this game, I mean, and getting George X and Horton involved. I don't know, did JoJo, I didn't notice if JoJo Trader played this game.
I was so at the point where the second and third wave of players came in, I was so happy that wasn't even paying attention to what was going on.
Yeah, but let me tell you, I'm glad we got him in. But hey, I think you're going to see a lot of second and third string unit players this week against FAMU.
Let's stay focused, right?
That's without a doubt. But hey, anything can happen. Last year, Florida State in their cupcake game, the week before the Gator game, Jordan Travis had that catastrophe of an injury.
That's the only thing I worry. That's the thing, Pete. Like you said, you always think in the back of your mind, stay healthy.
Don't even say it. Don't even say it. Don't even say it. Danny, we're gonna get you out here on two things. We want number one, Toad being a Seminole, console the Seminole, tell Toad some words of advice going into the rest of his season. Tell him his season's not over yet, right?
Toad, you have the Norvell Bowl this week. Okay, remember Mike Norvell was at Memphis.
I know. I'm not feeling too confident. I have some friends who are close with the team in Tallahassee, and they're telling me that Memphis actually might be a little more talented than Florida State going into this game.
And Mike,
so I'm sweating already.
Think about Mike Norvell. Mike Norvell must have left the talent there for his successor.
Well, it's been a while already, but Danny, I need your help because the Canes the last couple of years were down. FSU was up. I need some advice.
Last year was your year.
I need some advice on how to cope with this. I know college football's cyclical now. I know my dad's telling it. My friends are telling me, don't worry, like stay up, stick with it. Next year, it's a new season. Yeah, but we're 2 weeks in, man, and I don't want to watch college football.
Now, I'll tell you this. I think this is I'll be honest. This is really, to me, the rest of the way has got to be all must-wins for FSU. They're all must-wins the rest of the way. And I was hearing them say, we want Brock. We want Brock.
Yeah, that's the backup quarterback.
Brock Glenn.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this. If DJ struggles early, I wouldn't be shocked if Norvell goes to Glenn.
How many series, Danny?
Maybe 3-4 series.
Wow. So we're thinking about maybe first quarter, Brock Glenn. I mean, that would send some shockwaves.
That's if DJ struggles early. I think you have to say, listen, your season's already slipped away. You just don't want it to spiral out of control. You're gonna have to.
We're already mid spiral, brother. The engines are out. We're tunneling towards Earth right now.
Yeah, I say, look, but listen, you weren't gonna have the season like last year before Travis gets hurt, and listen, you don't replace a lot of guys and run the table again. You just don't.
No, absolutely.
And I think it just goes to show how good Jordan Travis was, right?
Yeah.
Like, he was a tremendous college quarterback.
He's Aaron Rodgers' backup.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
but, Danny, I do have one question for you.
Please.
UM's in a unique spot right now where they're the tip of they're at the top of the mountain right now as far as Florida colleges go in football.
Mm-hmm. It's only 1 week.
Like it? Do you like it when the big three are good, or do you prefer it like right now while the Canes have an opportunity to keep the Noles and the Gators down? Like, foot on the throat, forget it? Or do you prefer when there's that juice when all three teams are good?
Preferably when all three are good. Listen, it's good for college football when all three teams are good. But, like you said, cyclical. And I think we're going to do pretty well. I think I'd like to see where we're at. I'd like to see where we are. And I really want to see, really not so much this game and Ball State, but really for me, the next real major test. And I'm not going to disrespect FAMU or Ball State, but it's going to be USF on the road. Yep. That's to me going to be that. I said it when the season started. That's a sneaky, dangerous opponent, and it's on the road. And Alex Golish is a very good coach, and his players and they're a well coached team. They're a well coached team.
Danny, we'll get you out on this. Final prediction for the Canes season. Give us a record. Go.
I said it when the season started. If we beat Florida, which we did, I'm gonna say 11-1. 11-1.
Wow.
Only lost Lake Louis.
Danny's Canes, 11-1, man.
I believe it.
Your mouth to God's ears. So, Mafia, everybody check out Danny's podcast. It is the Miami Hurricane Show with Danny, presented by Lorraine Sports.
Miami Hurricanes Talk with Danny, presented by Lorraine Sports.
Beautiful. There you have it. We're going to put the links in the episode bio on YouTube and Spotify as well. Danny, it's great to catch up with you. I'm going to see you at USF. I'll be up there. Like you mentioned, it's going to be another big test.
We're having an event the night before, by the way, at McDivitt's.
Is that the Mafia's official invite?
If you want to come, I'll let my people know. Say, listen, if you want to make the trip.
Beautiful.
We'll do it.
We'll get in touch with your people, Danny. It was awesome to have you, man. It's a good time to be a Miami Hurricane. Thanks so much.
Yes, sir.